Hello, hello, happy days. It is time for some FACEIT League. It is Friday. You have made it through your week. We have made it through week 5. We got a banger match for you tonight. We've got Iliad Artemis taking on Shikigami. Iliad Artemis, a team with very little changes over their extensive history here in FACEIT League. On the other side, you've got a red-hot Shikigami. This was the team that had played under the Midori banner, but have since risen up and become the top squad here for Shikigami. They are now playing under the red logo, and they have put up one hell of a season. I believe I've got LemonKiwi coming to join me once again tonight. Has been the case for the past couple Fridays. Yeah, yay, awesome. Let's take a look at some standings. We'll get into it. It should be a good time. It's Friday night. I'm looking forward to this one. Been looking forward to this one all week. It's kind of our marquee matchup here of the week. You've got Shikigami coming in at 6-1. Artemis are coming in at 4-3. Now, once we get into playoffs and through playoffs, top 4 teams out of Master Division will get a pass directly into day 2 of your OWCS qualifiers. This is enormous. There's only 16 slots total, and 8 of those will be filled between OWCS teams pre-existing coming out of 2025 and the 4 teams coming out of FACEIT League Season 7 that we have fighting it out here. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing? How was your week?
Good, good. Here we have a banger today.
That's the plan. That's the thinking. You know, we'll see.
Fancy. Ooh, just the tracer ban, or hopefully that's that. Oh, never mind. Not accurate.
Actually, no, I think that was accurate. I think it was Artemis taking us to Ilios and baiting out Tracer to start.
Ooh, the Contenders logo is super based.
Let's see what we got. We're loading into Ilios to kick things off. It was a Kiriko ban coming through from Shikigami. This is Artemis's map pick, and Artemis got first ban. We're still waiting for everybody to load in. I know you're hearing things, but nothing's really happening yet. There we go. All right, friends. Let's get into it. Time for map 1.
I think I remember ADuckOnQuack.
Yes.
I think that.
There's someone else calling Quevster.
Oh. That's great.
And there is an enormous amount of synergy, which is why the brawl comps work so well with this Artemis team. But, you know, I don't know. You can't really play the Ram in that kind of slower paced comp. The meta has gotten so fast. Ooh, but I do like the hazard adaptation. We saw this actually earlier in EMEA. So it allows you to play fast, but it's still, you don't have to go right into the Zarya Vendetta play style. It kind of allows you to kind of maintain your own identity. Maverick's still trying to decide. We're just cycling. We don't know. Ceeful also hovering over that hazard as well.
5, 4, 3,
Seeing what's going to be happening here. Hazard is so annoying to play against. I really got to add him to my hero pool. We got the Vendettas out, though, and the D.Va into this. Not going to be my favorite matchup into the Hazard as a D.Va lover, but you are so mobile, though. You can kind of just ignore the Hazard and get around and mainly peel for that Vendetta.
Oh yeah, you gotta be able to avoid their Vendetta or just boop them away. And they're gonna force Zach back, but not before Kabe is able to trade one out. Fortunately, the kill feed is still broken, so I'm sorry, friends. We'll try to navigate that as best as we can.
I like D.Va just like for the constant pressure into Vendetta, but that's just my hero pool, and it's just gonna be always friendly on a map like Ilios when it's pretty short to medium range, but then you got the Lucio Juno versus the Lucio Bap. That's pretty cool, too.
I'm surprised about the Juno. Juno could be a point of contention here. We'll see if Mardox is able to kind of stay alive. I mean, Maverick and really, again, you can see how tight, how close a formation Artemis are using here in the second fight where Duck is able to get a couple of great kills right in the thick of things. Quevster with a 3-piece here. We're going to give a flip as Artemis will win fight 2.
Okay, well, he's already earning the name of the Quevster then. Oh, another great spot. Being able to be on this high ground, then Hazard can jump up there, but D.Va's going to be just so annoying, and you have to respect that, because then she just jumps down on your back line. It's going to have to force immortality or something like that, but already Maverick has to disengage, so ADuckOnQuack is pretty low, so this red side is going to have to change or give up space.
They don't give up too much. A kind of half minute. Maverick's trying to hold that high ground. Might be a little stubborn. Yeah, Zach's gonna go there, try to swing. Maverick's able to drop back down to the low ground where Mardox is gonna throw in an orbital. Might have been a bit of a bait here on this left-hand side. Try to get up the sky, see what's happened. Down ground level, look like Pain and company were able to find Ceeful and fend off Kabe. I just saw the E to the bowler shot up in the feed. I think Artemis and company hold on through this fight, tying up the percentage.
Penny, you're able to be pretty stacked up on ult, including the bolo. You got beat, but I guess worst case, you just trade beat. Let's see if Seaborn ends up popping the window to try and like make some space here, if that's going to be an issue at all. But the timing of this is going to be important. And plus, there's so many places to hide away from the window, but some people are getting isolated on the bottom right side.
Yeah, you saw Maverick made an ambush move, go in and try to find a kill, but they lose. Pain it was great. Peel by Zach. Fall back and catch that aggression. And you now gotten Shikigami swinging it all back forward, get control of the point. Downpour, unclear if that caught anything, but you do get a DMAC. Maverick hits the self-destruct. Fortunately, he's able to duck back into some cover, remac. Ceeful's in trouble, but gets saved by a sound barrier into the corner, and Ceeful gets 2. What a swing. It looked like Ceeful was just the sit and duck. Turns out that you were stuck in there with them. Ceeful gets 3 before it's all said and done.
Did Artemis even get beat off? It was Industrial died with 0%, so I'm a little curious.
I didn't see it land. I gotta be honest, did not see it land.
I don't want to call the A word unless we're sure, but it did not look like that worked out. So, I mean, Artemis were so ahead, and this could be closed out. You still have window here. I would love to see this proactively from Seaborn, but they're trying to mark where the pathing is going to be for Artemis first.
The window ends up on the top left side. It's gonna be a good disengage. Trying to get wasn't that good. Unfortunately, Industrial gets caught trying to escape the sundering blade. 93% on the board here. This is gonna be a tough recontest. Oh, we get a block. Industrial still respawning. Fortunately, Pain is able to get to the point. Is at least able to initiate an overtime. Orbital now thrown right in the middle, and here comes Artemis trying to do what they do best. Just huddle up and death ball. Oh, but Duck gets just planted with a bola shot from Kabe. Does get traded. Things are getting a little scattered on this point here, Lemon. I'm seeing more blue jerseys than red here at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, kind of confused why Maverick didn't want to sit in his own Juno ult. So kind of backed away, lost the mech, and that may have been the difference maker of how they played around that Juno ult. But there is no tank on the blue side, so it will be the DPS deciding things.
Maverick gets a kill with the... Was that a pilot diva kill? Was that what just happened there? They do hold on through that, surprisingly. I mean, it looked like Shikigami had the numbers there towards the end. Very surprised that Maverick and company were able to come away with that one.
One last touch, though, from Artemis, and not having really any good ults. We'll see if Bola... I mean, Duck has been incredible when they're able to play on defense, but this is getting a little bit messy.
Bola shot, just kind of went to the wind. Actually, would tell me that didn't just do all the damage to Zach. Wow, that little flick of a Bola shot actually is 200 IQ. Catches Zach right as they're running to touch, and they end up with 1 health on the point.
Wow, that's as close as it gets. 100 to 99. That's pretty insane. And Doug, I think, had some really shining moments at the beginning of the game, and especially there at the end. I mean, what do you get, like a triple kill like off the first fight?
Yeah.
Definitely think we got to be careful around the beats if that did in fact get canceled, and you want to use those earlier than when the danger hits you, because then you're really risking those getting canceled. And Maverick has to play around that Juno ult, but I know control could be extremely chaotic, so it's a little bit tough to nitpick what can happen in the heat of the moment. But well, here I think it's going to be strong for the hazard, especially if you play around that, I guess you call it cage, because you're able to wall the other side and be annoying. But see if Maverick decides to kind of hold a top left high ground, kind of set up Duck for success, and looks like that's the case.
Yeah, we're going to get Freya's once again on both sides. And this map is one of the best single Freya maps in the game. It's just holding this lighthouse. It's so difficult to close the gap. So Quevster / Duck does have the power position And Kabe kind of has to duck inside a cage or use this cover. Ceeful does lash out. Goes all the way to the other side, trying to close this gap up to the high ground. They're going to get a good shot onto the Juno. Mardox is able to back away into safety, and the peel from Pain successfully thwarts the advances for now. Both teams kind of back away. Nobody with the first pick just yet.
Yeah, I really do think Shikigami have been good at holding the space around that hazard, but now the Vendettas have been able to have some pretty impactful moments. Ceeful's able to get that finish on Duck, and that's a big carry on the Artemis side. But now trying to duel this hazard is not going to be very fun for Maverick.
The Maverick, in fact, can just give up on that and try to just go harass the back line. That's layered in by an attack from Pain. Nice little 1-2 punch, and they're able to whirlwind their way right into triplet. And then you got, I believe, actually, was intending to go to the Maverick Pop as Maverick took the forefront of that. It's all right. We'll go to Ceeful. Ceeful and company able to just kind of sit back, finally stabilize a little bit. 32% on the board here. Okay, bullet shot into that top corner won't land. Ant Matrix, but you've already lost triplet at top. Mardox actually comes up with a double kill onto both your supports.
Wow, Pain did such a good job of zoning off that window, because it is that make or break decision, and when that window gets popped, you either have to run away or you have to fight through it. And by that I mean really try to zone them and deny the usage of that window, and correct decision worked out beautifully. And now on the defense, you're already at 60%, and you really only had to use one ult. I would think Artemis are in a fantastic position for this round.
Shikigami trying to retake this point. See if this downpour will get it done. Finny, thank you so much for the gift. I see you. Thank you so much. Huge. I appreciate you, my friend. We're going to go directly on to Pay. Maybe try to find that. Just pesky Vendetta. And downpour is in, but the Juno's right over the top of it. Sound barrier layered in. Ceeful, try as you might, not really getting any kills off of it. Eventually, Zach just throws in the Sunring, says, fine, I'll take matters in my own hands. And that does start the dominoes to fall. And into the cage, Shikigami finally wins a fight here on Lighthouse.
That is so insane, because Artemis had 4 ults going into this, and they used 3 of them and still lost the fight. So Shikigami, though, have to do the 0 to 100, and that means a few ult cycles for Artemis to catch up on. And speaking of Artemis, I mean, Maverick has bombs, so you can play a little bit more aggressively. You're not obviously immortal when you throw the bomb out, so has to have some cover to duck into, but defending now is huge, especially if you could play off Seaborn's window. But with how fast Artemis play, it's been difficult for Seaborn to have a good position to use that.
You got Ceeful kind of entrenched underneath. That's the one spot Artemis needs to clear out. All focus will push Ceeful back towards the other side. Into the mini room they go. Look like Quester tried to get a bullet shot in there, but Zach shows up out of nowhere and just cuts him down. That overhead can just rip a Freya right out of the sky. Oh, Pain gets the revenge. Flip here for Artemis at 99%, but Pain is down. So everyone back onto this point. Use that window somewhere in there. I didn't see it, but apparently got the job done there, Lemon.
Yeah, Shikigami have been really focused. Like, even when that was 99% OT, they still were not getting too flustered and still worked as a team. So I really liked that. And yeah, I wasn't sure where that window was, but it was enough to completely catch Artemis by surprise. Now, this isn't going to be really a fight you're going to see ults in. Maybe Kabe gets the Deadeye, but against a Diva, should expect that to not work out too much unless he's really good at tracking Matrix, and Maverick would have to be very careful on how they manage that when facing that Deadeye, unless they do just walk away, because there are a lot of hiding spots on this. And there's the Deadeye.
Ooh. Oh, you got Mardox and Duck down to 1. Ceeful was in striking distance of Duck, and Mardox is still out of the fight. This is forced Maverick to back away, and Ceeful trying to pick up what ground they can. Zach catches Industrial off the high ground, and now a beautiful wall will get Maverick out of mech. This is going to get this to a 99-99.
Yeah, attacking with Diva is so hard on this map because it's so long range, and now that you have all the ults, I mean, Ceeful could probably just pop an early ult if you're worried about anyone touching, and here's the immediate reaction to Pain, and he's going to be sacrificed, but I don't know how they're going to pull off this 4v5.
You have to be done with double support ult. Oh, but you still can't get through Kabe. Triplet has the answer for your orbital ray. Industrial still doesn't quite have the beat yet. Oh, and his very low on health. The attention to Kabe turns to the other side. Josh Drills just a beat for one. Oh, and it's the loneliest number. A headshot will finish off Quebster. Kabe has got a window. Oh, that's double damage to a Cassidy. Shikigami has everything they need. Kabe with a beautiful 4K to close out the round. We're headed to a third and final one to determine the mount.
That was literally a 0 to 100 comeback. I can't believe Shikigami pulled that off. I mean, Kabe's been really smart about the Deadeye. I mean, you saw it. Different ways to use that Deadeye. If you want a full charge, just Chad walk at people, force the Matrix, force really everyone to respect your space. Or when there's flyers that you have to worry about, if you know a flyer's really out of position, basically just kind of in the middle of the air without any cover to duck behind, that could be a good moment to pop a really quick, not fully charged Deadeye, depending on how quick you can get them. And that's how they were able to get, I think, 2 people low on the Artemis side. So
yeah.
Kabe's been pretty smart about that Deadeye. I was really impressed.
Kabe is old school. Kabe was one of the first players I ever cast. I cast his very first Contenders Trials game in 2020.
I was like, he does sound familiar,
yeah,
but...
I cast his very, very first Contenders. He was like one of my first Contenders Trials casts, and he was in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. We met at one of the collegiate things. He played for Fisher for most of his collegiate stint. He played for Fisher for a number of years. Oh, that overhead just came down to the depths, though. Excuse me, Quebster, actually. Kabe was already dead. But the way the overhead slashes on these Vendettas can just pull the Freya's out of the sky is just gnarly. I actually saw an Echo sit into the pit a well earlier today with one of those.
And that was just such a gnarly engage from Maverick and Pain. And Seaborn popped Immortality and was either booped out of it, I believe, by Maverick or just missed the drop. I don't know, but Seaborn got fully collapsed on, and it was off of, I think, Pain getting him to half health immediately. So I'm really liking the dives out of Artemis.
Pain and Maverick headed to the high ground as they tipped another one of those. Just a little greeting there for Shikigami. They're trying to move around, not let Kabe get set up. Kabe is back on the Cassidy, by the way. Not matching the Quebster Freya. Off the high ground, the bolo shot aimed toward the balcony. Unclear if it got anybody. Shikigami's still just kind of stuck back here. They've not been able to find any entrance. Zach, the only one to get in and will not get out.
Yeah, it's Artemis have such a good bunker spot on the point. It's so annoying to fight anyone with Vendetta, Diva, anybody close range. So Ceeful really has to be the tip of the spear and enable Zach. I want to see them really united on that front because Maverick and Pain are like peanut butter and jelly right now, and it's more like oil and water on the other side. But I think a Hazard can be also a lot more independent. So we'll see how they try to work together.
Kind of converging from opposite sides, they scissor in to collapse onto Maverick. Well, actually, Ceeful goes back to the high ground, while the rest of the team is focusing on the front line. This does seem to be like 2 different arms are functioning on opposite sides of the map, but a good sound barrier out of triplet enables both of the factions here from Shikigami to win their fights and take control on equal footing. Take control on both sides.
Yeah, and Kabe popped the Deadeye at the start of that fight, and I'm seeing Maverick at like 2 HP, so either Kabe got Maverick really low, caught him with no Matrix, or just really when Maverick wasn't able to do anything about that Deadeye, so that's going to be really important for ultimate for Maverick to track, and speaking of ultimates, we got a lot.
The downpour catches 3, and the orbital is not enough to keep Pain alive. That was a double support ult, I believe, thrown in there by Artemis to try to hang on through that. That was a lot.
Good cycle, though. You had beat Deadeye for the other fight, and then you had Bap Vendetta Hazard for this fight. So now the ball is in Artemis's court on how they can enable Pain, because that's got to be the star of the show. A lot of focus into Ceeful. Definitely a very killable Hazard, but Pain's trying to find different angles around it. But man, Ceeful's getting pocketed so much.
Zach already down. It's getting Ceeful's lost their right hand. Now C1's been cut down, nothing to support it with, and a very clinical strike. What a counterpunch there at Artemis.
Yeah, Artemis almost put too much focus into Ceeful. I don't even think they killed Ceeful, but it caused so much chaos to Shikigami disengaging at so many different angles that they weren't able to heal each other, support each other, and counteract at all. But Artemis just has a few more seconds to go, and they got bomb 2 to zone. This is good. They should just take the fight at the point, and goodbye, Zach.
Zach gets booped on that awkward-looking approach. Pain gets the Sundering Blade on point, and Artemis steal away a map from Shikigami. Unreal.
From the comeback on well to here, this is round 3, and every round has been so close, and you really appreciate the chemistry that this team has. Just Maverick and Pain working so well together. Mardox and Industrial, who have been peeling for each other. The boops from Industrial, you can't underrate those. Booping a Vendetta off the map is so impactful in that last fight. We won't talk about the beat from Ruins, but overall this has been a pretty consistent team, and Mardox setting them up with the Juno ult too, so that they can kind of just keep that line together. So I'm liking what Artemis have.
I mean, be able to make such a high mobility comp work with a Juno. It doesn't feel like it should fit together, right? But they end up playing with such a hive mind, and then honestly, I feel like they got mixed success from the orbital. But when they're able to play in it, it wins fights. But they doesn't feel like they're always able to play in it. And I'm curious to see. I mean, we're going to get a Shambali Monastery pick here out of Shikigami. So they truly want to slow this way back down. In the vein of not letting it get too slow, Artemis will ban out the Sigma in response. Okay, so we've had Mei and Sigma banned. So this will stay fairly snappy.
Yeah, Mei is good on, I think, pretty much all 3 points of the map. Maybe it opens up a bit more on point C, but holy is she ever obnoxious on point B. Really glad to be getting rid of the Mei, and the Sigma, so it's probably going to force a Ram mirror, or I don't know what the flavor is for these teams, but Ram would be the next best guess.
I will say taking a Ram mirror against Artemis is a bold choice. That's kind of their bread and butter. That is their bread and butter. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I'll almost be playing into their game. I'm looking at Shikigami going, I don't know if that's what they're going to want to do here. I'm very curious. I'm very curious on this pick. We may end up going into the blender. We may see the Zarya Vendetta come out here.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Yeah. I mean, really, double flex DPS looks are becoming more and more a thing. Now, we have AMADOU swapping in here. We actually have AMADOU and Floomfie in.
AMADOU, that sounds also really familiar.
Yes, AMADOU's been around for a hot minute.
I like that Pain's name is basically Pain squared in French.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
delivering the pain.
It's square bread is apparently what it's.
Oh,
it's square bread.
I thought they were trying to be like a Pain, like DPS Pain thing, but
no, and
that would make sense that both
pain.
words are French.
Yes. And then I was like, wouldn't that pronunciation be like PainCarre? And then no, it's pain. I'm like, but that's not French. So no, either it's pain or it's square bread. Like, don't tell me they're the same thing. All right. Don't tell me the same thing.
Yes, Arissa Enjoyers, rise up.
Let's go. Oppa skin. Oh, Ducky's pretty good too.
So yeah, if you're expecting a Ram matchup here, I like the Arissa. Of course, the shield to no shield thing is annoying, but being able to javelin a Ram that's running towards you with big form is going to be really appreciated. But damn, the Bastion just out of nowhere gets completely runs over Kabe's Bastion, I should say.
I mean, you got a bubble and everything, but Maverick just spears right through it. And again, you're talking about, just hit gold and walk at it. I mean, similar theory as the Bastion as well. You're just like, I will jab spin, just spear you, and yeah, you're done.
So now Hero definitely has to just become that, playing selfishly with the bubbles, just be able to take any CC that the Arissa could be throwing at you, and maybe giving some love to Zach too, but holy 100 energy. This is raid boss mode, and oh, you gotta dodge when turret mode comes out.
Yeah, you gotta play around the wheels down. But it isn't working out, and this is the blender comp. This is blender comp, like, set on puree with Kabe on the Bastion, and we're running this double flex DPS look of super Bastion, super damage. This is insane amounts of damage output. Unreal.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, I mean, maybe you know more about AMADOU and AMADOU and what their hero pool is and maybe why they were subbed in, but tough to come into this with a Bastion matchup.
I was expecting, I mean, AMADOU, I believe, is more traditional hit scan. Playing into the Bastion matchup, this is right in Kabe's wheelhouse. Kabe is a weird hit scan player that also has a Tracer and has a Bastion on him. And there you go. You can just see, I mean, he looks comfy on this hero. Beautiful 3-piece, locked in a smooth saunter through point A here for Shikigami.
Yeah, this is looking very unstoppable, and then you're going to be close to grab for the next fight. And I like that they were trying to push up, get the most out of Hero's energy, maybe catch some stragglers, but that Kitsune rush was so nasty, timed beautifully with the turret form of Kabe. And now you can even go for a preemptive Bastion ult, but teams don't like to go for those early ults. They're just going to get as much push as possible. The defense Bastion ult comes out first, and this could be tricky.
Tried to Tidal Blast with the Terror Surge and the Bastion ult all together. Somehow, Zach's the only one to die. I say somehow it's triplets, perfectly timed Sound Barrier, limits that to only one loss, makes this winnable as the grab catches AMADOU right out of the window. What a smart play from Hero to make this a 4v4. Now, though, a Kitsu might have them pinned into the corner, and Kabe's ult won't be enough to save it. Sorry, that was a weird camera. Kabe's ult threw me off, too. The defense holds at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, and you got the Grav out, so that's huge. And I'm kind of battling with myself whether I like the Grav or not, because in an Orisa comp, the Orisa's just going to fortify and walk out of the Grav, and may make things difficult on how much damage you can put into that. Whether maybe you wanted to combine actually the Grav with the Bastion ult, that would be a pretty good combo, depending on if the Orisa would maybe try to Javelin spin and eat some of the Bastion ult, but even I'm not very successful at that. But wow, Kabe gets away with another kill.
Yep, the Pain somehow flubbed their Sundering and ends up just dropping right into Kabe's sightlines. But Maverick, I mean, is unstoppable at the top of this hill. It is the unkillable Ducky that will not die.
That's the power of the Orisa. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody.
I agree.
It's just the ultimate anchor point. If there's low ground and no like obnoxious high grounds to worry about, just the most survivable tank. And then, you know, the Fortify to be able to walk out of grab and stuff. I always ban Zarya though if I'm playing Orisa, because you cannot Javelin spin your the damage from the Zarya, but you can try to escape her.
And it's going to be a good disengage. I believe it was Mardox got left behind, but they're able to swift step, catch back up. Really good pull back a rotation. Now you got a wide swing left here from Pain, trying to intercept. Oh, got caught. I think that was just serendipitous. Zach was looking to go over the top and happened to see you down there, Pain. Unlucky, but Pain still wins out the duel. Oh, big sword fight, gladiator style, going to the defense.
Yeah, and Maverick just did such good zoning that's why Pain wasn't Zach wasn't being able to be supported because of all the space and the huge gap between, and Zach got LOS, and I think the vendettas that are dropping on defense here are really stressing me out. Wow, that missed?
Yeah, I don't know how that missed. The Suzu was even late. Kitsune Rush has forced a bit of a retreat here. We're dropping all the way down into Mega Room. God, seaborn coming lucky. Woo! Swift steps out just to avoid the grenade, just barely in time. AMADOU drops the wheels down and will continue to push Shikigami all the way back into point A.
It's a good press. I was wondering how much they wanted to extend even inside of this building, but you got to get something out of the Kitsune Rush. They got one kill, better than nothing, but now the ball is in Shikigami's court on ults. Finally, the combo.
It ends up too late. Doesn't drop in time. AMADOU stays alive, courtesy of the orbital ray. Zach will eventually whittle them down. Looks like a 2-for-1 trade. Get Mardox. Okay, that'll do it. And the Hubris finally punished here, but not before the clock is down to 45 seconds.
Well, even if the grab Bastion ult didn't work out, you still got all the... You got the initial damage, you got Suzu out, you got all this stuff. So you're pretty happy if you're Shikigami. You still got another fight ahead of you, unfortunately. And AMADOU is going to have the Bastion ult, and in this very tight space, that could really be hurtful. So I'm looking at Seaborn to have the perfect timing on the Suzu. Or maybe Hero's going to save some bubbles just for that. But AMADOU in turret form is going to force the attack around the corner, but only 11 seconds left.
As I say, I don't like Shikigami waiting. You got a ton of space ult, including that Terror Surge right out of the gate. Shikigami scattered in all directions, trying to avoid that. They've got to get value out of the Kitsu, but they lose Kabe instead. They're now fighting from a 4v5. Hero trying to bring this back at 100 charge, but now over the top, Pain throws in the Sundering. Maverick is on the point to anchor this thing, and that erase is not going anywhere. Neither is this cart.
Yeah, I like that you grabbed the shield perk. I'm such a javelin thrower, enjoyer. So I know sometimes when you don't care about mobility, the shield is always going to be the best thing. If you want to have fun, though, the shield is not what I picked.
It's just those of us who were traumatized by a double shield, I think, is like, no, I'm not giving Orisa her shield back. I refuse.
You're going to be a normal tank now, but that shield is what definitely hindered Hero at the end. It was 100 charge and could have maybe done some more work if it was not for that shield. But yeah, I think it was tough to kind of synergize the grab with different things. There was an attempt at even getting a Terror Surge with a Bastion ult, and that was decent enough. But when you're kind of like 1v5 Terror Surging, you just better safe than sorry on how quick you want to pull that out. So I think that was still great anchoring from Maverick overall, and that they've been pretty balanced on how much they want to extend when they are up there. I like that they have the awareness to tempo up with Kitsune Rush, chase all the way to point A if needed.
Oh, that was such a push.
Yeah, Artemis has been pretty good this map.
And it was, just a ton of space denying ults as well. I loved the aggressive move from Maverick to run up and use the Terror Surge early in the fight. It just scattered everybody in all directions. And yeah, like at the end of the day, we joke about, no, don't give her a shield, but just that extra bit of sustain is all the difference in the world. I mean, you see Maverick ends up, standing tall despite such an aggressive start to the fight. I mean, it's very smart play all around. Initial little look to try to get somebody off the high ground, but we're going to go right back into our double flex DPS of Bastion Vendetta.
Yeah, you just got to be able to scout the left side so you don't have anyone running you down unexpectedly, kind of like our last round started off. But looks like Artemis able to kind of be in main, get the attention, rotate quick left. And looks like this defense Shikigami are ready for it. AMADOU is just letting loose. Turret versus turret, but one Bastion has a Zarya bubble, the other one doesn't. But Maverick is taking up a lot of space, has the armor crack, so gotta be careful.
And Hero's gonna walk up, take some of that. Oh, but Pain drops in with a 3-piece. Got in behind. I had eyes on the Zarya as well. Everybody was kind of watching the Bastion. Nobody was watching Pain's Vendetta. Got in for a beautiful opener and got 3.
And Hero's been getting so much charge. I think if they just had a bit more focus, like as a team, these would be much cleaner fights because you have so much DPS, and just Artemis are able to quick disengage, heal back up, and hit you hard when you don't have any Zarya bubbles. So really gotta, if you're out of cooldowns, make sure you finish off those kills, because Zarya is gonna be quite literally a sitting duck and not the Orisa kind.
Oh no. Okay, down to 1 already early. Goes down. The defense just never able to quite get settled. Pain is gonna end up getting another one to the mix, and Hero just feels like they have to try to trade. Does not work out whatsoever, and a equally fast push for Artemis as we saw for Shikigami on the other side here for point A.
This might even be a little bit faster, so able to build up all these ults too, and box to victories just at the end of point B. Zarya may have a hard time just contesting that first half, and okay, Maverick's going for it and popped it into the bubble, which is tough.
But Pain's able to just whirlwind Kabe into a corner. The Bastion's not allowed to respond. Oh my goodness, over the top combined with the artillery strike. Just looking to create more chaos and instability for this Shikigami defense. You are
no way.
Wow, able to get out. I mean, you see all the damage in the world chasing Pain. Now Pain trying to punish and Zach, who's trying to get out. My goodness, the back and forth.
And now you have 4 minutes just to win one fight and you win the map. This is crazy. And if Pain would have died there, this would have been a very different story. But at least through the skirmish, Shikigami has her own ults looking at grab. It's not like you have a Lucio or something great that can deflect that. And you hear the Juno ult, you pop the grab. I like that. Good delay.
Oh, Kabe goes down before seaborn's able to get theirs in. PainCarre just cuts through the pack with the Sundering. And Iliad Artemis are on track. A completely flawless team fight. How about some pizza? It's time to celebrate. You're on match point. But hey, job's not done. Job's not done, Artemis.
Unfortunately, against that comp, the Wu Yang ult is more when the cards are on the table and you're able to be the one who dictates fights. You're the one that's able to engage first. And when you have a Zarya comp, that's kind of the idea, but it never felt like Shikigami had fights on their terms. It doesn't help when Artemis generate 5 ults and cap the first point without having to use any of them. And then all they have to do is use 5 ults to cap B with. So really tough for Shikigami to delay things. You have to just panic grab just to stop the follow through from the Juno ult. So Shikigami we're in a weird spot. And that's why the Wu Yang pick is, yeah, fantastic for damage, but for the ult, it's not going to be so helpful in that kind of 5 ult versus 5 ult thing that happened. And it felt like Hero and friends had a lot of energy. They played around the Zarya well. I think Hero took a lot of the bubbles upon himself, or maybe some of them to Zach, but it's so much energy, so much aggression, such a good push. It seemed unified, but the disengage into the re-engage from Maverick and friends was just that good. Because if I'm Marissa going into 100 energy Zarya, I'm having such a miserable time.
For real.
But then you have the speed from the Juno that's able to kind of get you out a little bit. You got the counter poke. Surprised about the Zarya ban here, because she seems kind of cheeks here because just of how long range you're just so out in the open on a lot of these pushes, and just where the checkpoint is too can be very out in the open. So I wouldn't say Zarya's fantastic at all on this map, but we've seen everything from, I think, a lot of Ramatra, Mauga, just a lot of brawl heavy guys. We'll see kind of what the DPS end up going with, because that'll matter too, but still waiting for my Ramatra mirror. But hey, if Maverick's really good with the Orisa, I love Orisa here too.
I've been playing a lot of Orisa lately. I feel like Orisa is just such a good, like, jack of all trades tank. Like, can play slow, can play somewhat fast. Not like, you know, hazard fast, but is really just good in so many situations. And is, in fact, Maverick and will stick with that. Hero going over to the Sigma. Now, the Sigma was banned out there on Shikigami. On Shambali, I mean. And so Shikigami were not able to use that. This is, I mean, really slowing it down. No Vendetta, going into a Sigma Sojourn Symmetra look here. Very slow comp.
Yeah, the one thing I hate more than Zarya is a Sigma, and I guess a flanker. Like, how did Kabe die to a Lucio? That's so random. I think there was someone shooting them from behind. Either way, yeah, Sigma just is so annoying. And initially, without that first perk, you're just gonna overheat as you shoot on Orisa, so you're not able to break down the Sigma shield as easily. But I guess if you just ignore the Sigma and run everybody over, yeah. That's what's gonna happen. It's just very hard to get around the Sigma on this map, but speed is, I guess, all you need.
Well, and you find that opening pick. That opening pick was just so instrumental. So that's... Then suddenly Hero just doesn't have enough protection. Can't quite stay alive through it. They will get the reinforcements back. Okay, we're gonna get a bit of a re-engage here. Can they fight up the hill? Fighting up this hill can be dangerous.
It's also gonna be tough for Hero too, because Orisa can fortify out of the grab flux. You have Suzu, you have Beat that'll counteract your flux. So gotta be able to hold some ground and try to keep your distance as much as possible. And annihilating Maverick is huge. You gotta see this tempo be shifted up for Hero and friends, and especially to try and get that flux online ASAP for the next fight.
We'll say if there's another thing that's I hate to see when I'm playing an Orisa, it would be the Symmetra. And Zach just running at Maverick in that fight was able to kind of just get in the face of the tank. Maverick is coming back here with close to ult. We saw some really smart use of the Terra Surge on Shambali. Keeping out for this duplicate as well. Over the top, the duplicate will be the opener. And Matrix well placed here from Seaborn, but the cart does get stuck. The duplicate eventually taken care of, and that'll continue to march TS1 down the street, which means that Artemis have to give up on it and respect this space.
It's such a good window from Seaborn, and awkward timing with the dupe too, because he would have wanted to build that flux, but just that window perfectly placed down the lane made it so that Pain could not generate the flux and really not do much. So this has been a seamless push so far. You have flux to work with, but all depends. Do you think Floomfie has beat, and are you willing to trade it or try to bait out the beat first? Of course, we know that Floomfie doesn't have it yet, but that's not what Hero knows.
They do just give up the checkpoint seemingly for free. We do not get the touch on that. That felt a little bit like an error there, but Kitsune Rush, still a chance for Artemis to win this fight out. Really well placed photon barrier, splits the street in half. Zach and company are able to play on one side. Kabe opens up with a pick onto Mardox. Teleporter into the window, and it feels like Shikigami just have control of the entire map right now. They're going to take this fight all the way back towards the archway. I mean, you got Paid is still kind of stuck behind enemy lines here. Oh.
Wow, Zach has really showed us how to min-max and just get so much value out of all these DPS picks, from just his survivability on Shambali on the Vendetta to a perfect wall for that fight. They drew back into a long lane, and then you just dance between both sides of the wall, and that's all you wanted to do was catch the blue side in an awkward position, get kills before that bend, because that bend is such an open area.
The OC will get forced out before they kind of are able to turn that corner. And that was a beautiful, well-executed team fight. Just kind of over the top went Pain, Maverick into the middle, and it was one beat was all it took. Beat and Terra Surge, excuse me. This is all it took to win that fight. That was fast.
94 meters is a really good push, and you have all the time in the world to match that. But you're going to have a fight before you see any progress, and now Maverick's in an awkward spot. Mardox got his back, but Pain, see if they can find an angle past this Sigma shield, and nope, not able to against the Sojourn.
Yeah, we saw AMADOU opened up the very first fight with that exact swing, but Shikigami outran him this time and is able to go run down the front line before AMADOU can complete the flank, and it ends up just looking like a very awkward split. Well read by Shiki.
And if Pain doesn't pull off anything with this dupe, it's gotta be a swap. Like, Kabe is pretty on fire today when it comes to the mechanics, and Sojourn that's heating up is something you don't want to really press, but it does take a second for Sojourn to get to that lethal damage. You know, still needs to charge up, so Pain still has a window before getting shot down, but now the window's out from Seaborn.
I was gonna say, speaking of window, beautiful segue. Well done, well done. Maverick gets melted through that. That was just, I mean, I've never seen a Ramattra disappear so fast, and that is Maverick going off of the Orisa and into that old comfort pick of the Ramattra. I think this is what I best know Maverick for playing is this Omnic hero with so much sustain. And trying to hold the line here. Duplicate out of Pain onto the Sigma. AMADOU's OC is going to find a kill. Low City. Duplicate ends up just drawing the aggro while AMADOU can line up the shots. Maverick able to get into the thick of it as well, and Artemis win a much-needed team fight here.
Didn't get anything out of the dupe, though, so I'm still team swap on this one. Echo is good on this. It's just when there's a slower tempo, you can jump around walls, you can... It's kind of like Tracer, where you want to go unnoticed until the time is right and then pinch with your team. But right now, they are very much noticed and very much getting shot down by Kabe and everybody else on the other side. But if you can just get the right engage, and I like Pain going to the Mei here. Now you're going to be able to wall off the Sig, and we needed to be team swap there, unfortunately for them. But this Blizzard could get a ton of value as long as you, well, take care of the immortality field as fast as possible.
There's a Kitsune to run into a tough retake here for Hero. They want to stop this bot. Oh my goodness, they just run down the left-hand side. Kabe appears with a wide flank and a beautiful mismatch created on Coast to open this fight up. Running into that very difficult ultimate. That's such a hard retake coming out of the spawn and out of the window like that. Perfectly timed from Shiki.
Yeah, I'm just think Kabe is very uncontested on the hit scan, is not getting enough pressure, and when you have a Sig shield against, well, no shield, well, Maverick may be able to throw one into the mix, but it's been difficult for this blue side to keep space, but Kabe gets another pick before getting traded.
Pain saved by the sound barrier after the flux. Things are going to get claustrophobic or right behind the wall. They're trying to focus down Pain. They eventually lock down the Mei. And it ends up being another fight win here. Shikigami are looking to take this right up to the doors of Artemis.
Yeah, pretty critical that Floomfie missed, or Maverick just died, and I don't think received the sound barrier, or at least got chunked through it. Either way, it's a beat to a lost fight, which you hate to see, especially when you got another 100 meters to go, or at least 75. But this Maverick guy's got to block his way out of that window. I like that disengage, though, out of Artemis.
They are able to at least back out one piece. As I say that, Triplet gets in through the window to flank and find Floomfie. Removes a lot of options. You can't speed in with this Annihilation. So it should be a fairly easy disengage. Although, apparently, Hero got stuck. Seaborn does as well, despite not having a Lucio. Artemis makes it work.
Yeah, such a good Mei wall from Pain. That's your win condition in that neutral fight. Wall off the Sigma. And hope that he doesn't have grasp, or really just any wall. Force as many cooldowns. Even if he saves himself, you're gonna put him in an awkward position to have to use the shield and back off. So now Pain has the Blizzard. He's still got to worry about if there's gonna be an immortality field, or if Hero has the grasp, which will cancel that ultimate or really not allow it to go through. So see if Pain will find a fun angle. Sometimes you get a flank with it, or I guess no opportunity for that. Did I lose you?
Oh my goodness, somehow I muted somewhere in there. That was such a good call, too. Nice 3K out of AMADOU.
I felt the energy through the screen. I just didn't hear it. But
all right, okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's aura. That's aura, friends.
Man, AMADOU popped off. I was thinking this was the Kabe show the whole time, but is it too late when there's 30 seconds left to pop off? No Blizzard 2? Oh, no.
And I would say, like, I mean, AMADOU made that look so easy. It's like, why don't you just do that every time, AMADOU? Like, what are you doing? Like, just waltz into water wheel, kill 3, you know? But no, Shikigami have this map under control. They will have a, this is gonna be interesting. Photon Barrier actually is really good against both the Kitsui and the Blizzard.
I might be a nerd, but maybe you could have stopped pushing the bot, so they maybe wouldn't have had time to touch, but this is a very respectful final fight. Now let them use the Blizzard, let them have fun. This is pretty one-sided. You're doubling their score. Why not have another fight for fun?
just give them the touch. Oh, quick disengage. And there's the Photon Barrier to make sure Hero stays alive through this. There's the Kitsune now thrown in. Ant Matrix from the top of the hill. And we do get a fun little final fight. Artemis definitely still have a leg in this one. They're able to kind of duck in around the jump pad, find cover where AMADOU peeks out and gets a kill on a triplet. 12% away from a beat. Maverick is going to muscle through. Pain finds 2. And we're going to get another fight yet here, Lemon.
Oh, I was worried if that Blizzard was ever going to come out, and Shikigami are just going to have to buy another fight, and they're getting staggered though, so it's not going to be fun for them, but progress hasn't happened yet for Artemis. It will be in a few seconds, and no, it's just kind of beat versus beat, and Maverick's going to have the Annihilation, so this is going to be real scary. AMADOU has to put up pretty Olympic level performance if they want to pull this off.
Artists are exceptional at drawing out these kind of fights, though. This is right in their wheelhouse. Hero close to an ultimate, and Maverick's gonna go ahead and push forward. Gets immediately rocked as soon as they hit the Annihilation. Sound barriers have been layered in from both sides. Hero's already down. We will not see the flux. That Annihilation is just reaching out to everyone. AMADOU actually does not do anything with their overclock, but this is moments away from an Artemis 3-0 over the 6-1 Shikigami. I don't know if anybody's going to make it back. We're going to get a Vortex to block the wall. Nobody. Oh, we get to teleport in. Oh my goodness, we get a touch at 0.49 meters. Overclock now in play from Kabe. Hero is down, but Zach is able to get not just one, but 2 kills, including Maverick. And Kabe gets the OC kill. No shot. We're heading to a map 4.
Holy. If they would have lost that map, that would have been the most insane choke. Because again, they didn't have to push the bot to Artemis's quarter of the map. And we wouldn't even need to be in this hectic of a situation. But that's just
doing it for the content.
Me being a nerd.
They just like me. They just want some good content here on this stream.
Had us on the edge of our seats.
For
Damn.
real. 40 centimeters on a push map? Are you kidding me? What is this, escort?
It was, if they would have rolled out, if Artemis would have rolled out on the May, I think from the beginning, or swapped earlier, I think it'd have been a different story. AMADOU also really started to blossom near the end of that map, but it was the Kabe show at the beginning. But I don't blame AMADOU since they just got subbed in and they had to play Bastion, which is going to be a whole different set of mechanics.
Right.
Much more tracking aim versus, I would say, Sojourn that's more flicky, especially for those one shots. So, kind of a
usually just build up
set
on the tank or something, or I mean, at the very least, you're just center mass on a target. So it's much, it's far less tracky. It's just kind of build up your rail, and then some flick headshots. I would agree with that. I agree with that assessment.
And just looking at the numbers, that makes a lot of sense. 6,900 damage from Pain, had issues on the Echo, and it's just the dupe. I don't even hate how they were using it. It's just the retaliation of one had a window, like a BAP amp matrix in his face, or some other ult was being thrown, that the Sigma dupes were not lasting as long as they would have liked. That was a good map, though.
It was a great map. That was fun. That was a fun one.
Yeah, there's just so many different things you can play on. I'm imagining Sigma from Shikigami's side. That seemed to be what they fall back on. I don't hate the Ram. It's just probably better on defense. Since you could kind of just stay and beat the hell out of them when they get close.
I'm so curious. Artemis, again, traditionally known for their brawl. But Maverick does play a mean diva. That's exactly what they're going to flash us here. I wouldn't expect that to change, even though they do have 35 seconds to where they could change our attacker's composition. That honestly looks what I anticipate for them to roll out a spawn with. Hero goes back into the Sigma here. We're going to go up to Griffin and defend this high ground.
No surprise on the Sigma, but the Symmetra defense, I mean, you'll see that on a lot of the big pro teams, especially if they're the nerdy Symmetra comp teams. And well, I guess that worked out for them on Runasapi. They knew how to navigate. Wait, was it them? Yeah, it was them, because they were against the Orisa, or
yes,
well, the Ram, Orisa, whatever. So interesting to see how Zach could maybe, on defense, you're not really trying to TP into them. You're probably trying to TP away. So see how Zach sets them up.
And just the basic high ground defense on Griffin. I'm curious on Artemis' approach. We're just going to slow and steady up the front door. It looks like the teleporter just used to get to that back high ground immediately. So just some initial poke before Shikigami moves into their actual defensive setup here on this back high ground. This does give AMADOU a little room to work. You can see AMADOU currently basically leading the server in ult charge with this angle that they've got. Oh, but Hero wins the fight down low. Able to catch PainCarre, sleep in, or maybe trying to push. That opener will allow this defense to stabilize.
Diva on attack is suffrage. As a Diva enjoyer, you just are... This map is what made me put Sigma in my hero pool against my will. You just need to adopt some kind of shield hero here, and Sigma, just like Circuit, this is just kind of like a must play if you're going to be depending on a lot of hit scan at range. Which I guess Kabe's on Bastion, so you just want to protect him because you have so much pressure. Hero can hold the space with the shield, and what can Maverick do? They're just going to get hit by an accretion, you're going to fly away, and the rest of your team aren't going to have really an angle to work with.
We do get one of those big rotations you're talking about. Artemis moved to the back high ground to try to find that angle. See if they can get AMADOU set up once again. Now you want to try to get AMADOU and shoot down on Kabe. AMADOU sneaks back up over into Griffin. Finds Zach. That'll do. Now the defense are the ones kind of backpedaling away. Triplet goes through the entire enemy team. Somehow gets out.
Yeah, he had this really good split push from the red side where you had Maverick and friends kind of harass this hero Sigma while AMADOU and I think another support took angles to actually put pressure on someone like Seaborn. And when you had that back wrap, you're able to take the platform and make it so that the supports can't really protect their Sigma. And that's what's important. Backline pressure against a Sigma comp.
Hero trying to regroup with their backline inside the Nexus. Voided the OC from AMADOU. Good rotation. He's going to take it back around towards main. Oh, is that? Yeah, Hero's able to go all the way. Swing and chase Artist. Little do-si-do. The teleporter puts the defense back to the point, and we have completely flipped the map.
Wow. What's nice about D.Va is being able to just go between the high ground to the low ground so seamlessly, and Sigma not so much, but I like that window. Pain is still trying to fight through it, and the immortality's been popped. We're still fighting through it. We are confident off the beat, and it works out for Artemis to get a bunch of kills.
Yeah, it was a beautiful beat there out of Floomfie. And that's they're able to pull Hero down as well. Once again, that mechanic of the overhead strike from Pain, ripping heroes out of the sky. You yank the gravitic flux hero. You don't cancel the flux, but you just do so much damage. You force out the immortality field out of hero. They have to duck around the corner and just pray to survive. You know, much less. There's just zero follow-up on the flux on that. So really well played out of both Floomfie. Oh, Shambali re-engaged though. The ambush out of Shikigami caught Artemis a little sleeping. I was here, building you up, y'all, and you end up just completely sleeping on that re-engage.
Such a fantastic TP from Zach. Now that's some pro level, like you said, infiltration. And the Suzu from Mardox was huge to save AMADOU for a second. I think they took a second to reload instead of just immediately jumping out as soon as that happened. And either way, they're still able to catch the escapees. And now you're reestablished on the high ground. You got your Sigma there. I want to see Hero hold his ground. The Sigma, the D.Va should not be a huge threat to you, but just trying to conserve as much HP strength. But look, now they just run past you and start accessing your DPS. So Hero has to be careful here.
Yeah, Kabe finds the right move, catches AMADOU where a lot of that pressure could come from. So Hero is feeling a lot more confident just to continue to chase kills. Ends up trading. It's a +1 exacerbated by Zach's 2-piece, and the defense will hold with 2 minutes to go.
Well, it looks like the DPS still able to fend for themselves, and Kabe knows that if anyone gets close, you can hinder. Zach can TP them away, and you can already have that TP set up so you can just bounce to different high grounds, different off angles. Hero just, I know, is trying to not demand as many resources, so trying to play as safe as possible, but you want to be careful that they don't walk past you and totally ignore you. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought a player left the game or DC'd. We're all good.
Yeah, fortunately, that was a spectator or a coach or something. Artemis are going to drop down to the low ground. They kind of give up on that high ground approach and split. It's a 1-4 split. Both supports look to be supporting Pain. AMADOU sneaks up, jumps up with the OC. Popped. Kitsune has been popped as well. It's a little bit of a sneaky move to try to get an old combo onto the high ground, but a good disengage, protected by the photon barrier. And Shikigami are so far so good until AMADOU swung around and got Zach. This opening pick will get him close. The response from Hero is a flux onto Maverick, onto that high ground. Pain tried to peel. Sound barrier in from Floomfie. Hits everybody but Pain. It's really good enough, though, for the ambush. Running right past that Sigma. The Sigma just watches in horror as the rest of the team is ran over just as you predicted.
Wow, I thought that wall was going to be amazing from Zach, and it really was. He created this bunker spot, but I think Artemis realized, hey, we're a dive team. We have a Lucio, we have a D.Va, we have a Vendetta. We just need to go all in, and we cannot hesitate with this composition at all because we just don't have the resources and the sustainability compared to a Sigma that can hold space, like a shield, for example. So I like that they full committed past the Symmetra shield, disrespected that, and that's what won them the fight. And wow, they tried to keep that momentum going, but finally got stopped.
The flashbang accretion combo is a little disgusting. Like, that was mean. That was just rude, all right? Oh, and the Saggers will continue here.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah, and 90 seconds to go, too. This is an important spot for Shikigami to find a good leg plant and kind of stabilize here on point C. And I'm not seeing a whole lot out of Artemis to try to crack this.
There's not a lot of good, like, flank angles. If you want to go left side, even then, like, the Sigma's will be able to stuff the choke. What you want to do is find timing when you do break the shield, and Deadeye's going to zone off, create some space for Hero, and wow, the TP's insane.
Oh, and the Kabe's just going to fall off. We got everybody. What? And just a beautiful move. Had him on the ropes and knew it. Followed it up for the finish. That was beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, there's Overwatch teams and there's Symmetra teams. And when you know how to play around your Symmetra TP and you have plays like that, Zach is calling the shots beautifully. And you need to have a vocal player like that when you want to go for, well, more complicated combos like that, I want to call it. 25 seconds, though, and Pain's back on the Mei. And same kind of win condition as Runasapi. Try to wall off Hero.
Well, Gordic Flux is going to put Hero into the sky. There's the wall that Nikitsu's already in play, but the sound barrier from Triplet will save Hero from what looked like a disastrous situation. Triplet over the top comes in with 2. My goodness, that's what you want your Lucio to do. 5 seconds to go. Floomfie, or excuse me, half a second to go. Floomfie will not even get their barrier into this fight, and Shiki hold here at the beginning of point C.
Still a fairly good push. For a team that ran a diva through into a Sigma, which is just nails on a chalkboard of how do you ignore the Sigma and get around it. And it's basically working around what Hero puts on the table. And he was kind of very split from his team. He was very forward, very independent, allowing his team to play further back, which gave more chances for Artemis to try and get around it, whether it's to work the low ground, dive past the Sigma, or just quite literally walk past him using some Lucio speed. So I appreciated how Artemis worked around a matchup that wasn't the best. And then they had the right idea swapping to the Mei at the end, but Hero and friends had Flux and other ultimates to go with, and that Kabe Deadeye TP play was insane. And
that was so
I
good.
really liked the setup of the defense. They keep Kabe, they keep Zach so far away from danger, and Hero is just so forward that you have to pay attention to him. And sometimes he'll let you walk by, but most of the time he doesn't. So that's why you got to add Sigma in your hero pool if you're playing tank on Blizzard World. It's so strong. I could see a full push here, though, from Shikigami if they keep this Sigma thing going. It's point B that I'm more worried about. It can be a little tricky getting through some choke points depending on what the comp is on the other side. And staying up there, or like if somebody drops, gets booped down, how you kind of stay organized, but we'll see.
AMADOU playing an Ashe here can be very vulnerable. You can see he's not even going to try to take Griffin. Wants to stay as far away from the attacking rotation as possible. It's going to be a vulnerable cornerstone, but also a lot of damage output. Ooh, AMADOU getting into a sneaky position, goes to take Griffin. And Shikigami and company look to take this back high platform. You're going to get Sim set up here with some turrets and a teleporter down to the mega side. You catch a beautiful right click onto the Kiriko, taking out the bulk of the sustain here from the defensive comp. AMADOU now looking dangerously separated from the rest of the team. Should be easy pickings here for Zach. Back on the point. It's Hero and company locking it down. They've got the remnants of this defense chased into snacks.
You honestly didn't even need to full wrap that, but it does just complicate things for the defense so much when they have to back away from you. But what Zach ended up doing is when they completed that full wrap, that Zach put a TP behind the escapees so that he was able to just come up from behind and they just sandwiched them from all sides. This has been a really fun Symmetra team to watch, and you don't get to see those every day. Usually the good Symmetra teams are in OWCS by now, so if Zach and friends can perfect a composition like this, they can really go far and face it.
Especially, I mean, you kind of forced the Vendetta off. You forced Pain to change. I mean, into what has been a very Vendetta-centric meta and kind of compositions across the board. Everybody trying to play around that hero. And this sim has just danced around it, maintained the distance, and has finally forced the swap. Now Shikigami are once again flipping the map. Remember, your blue team is on attack here, despite how it may look if you're just tuning in. Hero looking to try to see if they can just sneak this bot away. Any meterage on this cart, I mean, and they can start taking control of this map. Pain will find seaborn. That's going to make life a little bit difficult. Pain will continue to pour in rockets from this defensive posture. Shikigami get as much meters as they can.
Okay, Pain peaked a Deadeye as a Pharah, though, and still got away with the kill. Like, that was an all or nothing type of play. And there's some really interesting swaps here. Was not expecting here to get off the Sigma, considering how good the matchup is. But I know against the Pharah, I like the D.Va just to be able to fly up there. Maybe have a chance to deny the barrage if that ends up coming out. And being more front-facing towards that is going to be good. But this is also some free push. The defense is behind the attack, and that is absolutely not where you want to be if you're Maverick and friends.
The Mavericks in the Mega Room. Pain is here on top of the Nexus. Pain has got 4 players in front of him. Shikigami, you're just going to go chase them out. I heard a bolo shot in, but yeah, Hero gobbled that up. That was just a light snack. Rotation through Nexus. We were at the teleporter across the way. Here's that barrage right on top of the mech. I mean, that was just mocking the D.Va. The sound barrier is late to prevent the D-mech, and the defense suddenly looked like they've got Shikigami kind of corralled here down low. It's going to be a photon barrier up. See if they can survive through it. Pain still manages to pick up the pilot Hero. Make sure the mech doesn't come back. The card's still kind of getting away from this defense, though. This is looking a little awkward as Triplet and Kabe come up with kills.
I think this would be a swap angle for Zach, as you are just fodder to this Pharah, and somehow Pain does not get marked well enough. While they were playing through the right side, they were still trying to get organized with Maverick. Like, I don't know how somehow this blue side completely lost track of the Pharah, got barraged. Losing the mech there is terrible. And then there's nothing to stop Pain if it's not Kabe. So, yeah, Zach is going to stick to the Symmetra, maybe to help them get to the high ground and get a surprise. But I'm worried about how they're going to deal with this Pharah, because Pain has been pretty impactful.
Already halfway up towards another barrage. Kabe trying to teleport on top. Gets Floomfie with that teleport play. One shot lands on the Mardox, but they're able to get the Kitsu down into the mix, and Pain is able to land one. Find Zach again, and you've got 2 players. Seaborn's in a lot of trouble back here. Surrounded, has to just lamp himself. Nah, there's no escape, and Pain gets the direct. And with the Baptiste gone, the rest of the attack crumbles.
That was an insane Suzu from Mardox, because them living and being able to pop Kitsu is a huge part of winning that fight. So the defense lives on, and being able to stall out, and the card is in so deep too that it's so much ground for Hero and friends to make up for, and the defense is going to barrage spawn. This is a little aggressive, but it's working.
This is some tiny Overwatch limit. We've been self-destruct barrage used in this very close quarters. I guess Hero will go down. We're looking at a back cap happening right now, but they have clocked it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure how the Symmetra team's gonna work now, just because it's a question of tempo. When you have like a D.Va that can dive you, a Pharah that goes uncontested, you're just constantly dealing with all this burst damage. You can try and play in these low roof areas to disrespect the Pharah, and looks like they're just gonna play a tornado shelter mode, I guess.
I like that. Yeah, we're just huddle up. Hope it holds. Hope the walls don't collapse in around you. Circle it onto the point. It's going to be Hero just anchoring momentarily. And Salbear out in the middle of nowhere as the teleport actually goes into the middle of the point. And Hero's able to chase somebody down. A high-risk play. Running right at the heart of the Twister, but you find Floomfie through the exchange. Now Pain, 2 Thirsters, another barrage has been kind of isolated off the point as an Ant Matrix tries to protect the cap. And when the waning seconds and 0.58 meters to go, Kabe comes up with a 2-piece, and Shikigami find the 2 points.
Yeah, it took perfect pathing for the Symmetra team to even get access to those supports. Like, multiple TPs through the right side, staying in cover, and it was a good thing that Pain did not have Barrage, because it wouldn't have mattered how much you tried to rotate, they would just wait until you emerged from a door and barraged you. But thankfully, Pain did not have that yet, and then they got access to Floomfie, and the rest was history. And that window from Seaborn actually was perfect, because then... yeah, I'm sure Maverick was out of Matrix just trying to contest, and now it's one fight for the win.
And Teleporter will take you past the box of victory, trying to surround this. And once again, we're going to get a flip of the map. It's because of it. Get a good angle on this. Where is your Pharah? Your Pharah is playing around the corner. Tidal Blast thrown on to Maverick. Maverick goes running in, tries to hit Kabe. Kabe is able to get on their feet, but won't get much past that. And with 38 seconds to go, I can't help but wonder if we should get a reset here out of Shikigami.
At this point, yeah. And that's the call. Coach says reset, jump off the map. Mardox is so underrated with these Suzus, though. I really like the one they hit on the Diva here of Maverick to be able to escape, because they almost stayed in, they almost overstayed their welcome too much trying to finish off that one kill, but Diva v Diva, and you got a barrage, and kind of hard in this open area to hit it, but you can see they're tucked into that little room, hoping to maybe catch everyone by surprise.
The photon barrier used early. Pain knows exactly what they need to dance around. Cart getting dangerously close. One team fight to win this series. Up into the air. The barrage is blocked this time. Good job from Shikigami. They track it. Now we're going to get a sound barrier re-engage. Looking to isolate the far. Headshot will find Pain. Now a window open. Another headshot will find Maverick as well. A brief moment to hide away. Mardox caught by Hero self-destruct, and Shikigami force a map 5.
And they deserve it, because how they maneuvered Blizzard World was expert. The pathing around the Symmetra, I was a little bit worried about how they were facing the counterwatch situation of the Pharah coming out and whatnot, but they're able to just path past it, access those supports. And the barrage almost was tough to do in the middle of that photon barrier, but it's almost like you were trying to force everyone to one side of the wall so that your team could take advantage of everyone being grouped up, because those type of walls, it's just chaos where your team gets separated, you don't have the focus fire at the right place. It's really to divide the damage and distribute it across a lot of people. So the barrage may have just forced the fight to be on one side, which kind of was fun to watch. And Pain swapping to the right thing at the right time has been sort of his identity throughout these maps.
Speaking of, let's go to some stats. We got a Diva ban out of Artemis here, which is interesting going into Dorado. So, I mean, that's kind of an interesting little right there. We're going to a high ground map, banning out the Diva. First things, let's take a look at some stats, and oh my goodness, look how even these are. Holy cow, what is that? It's 14, 16 is 30, 40 deaths for Shikigami, 20, 16 is gonna be 36, it's gonna be 43 deaths for Artemis. 3 deaths separating our two squads. I mean, 7 to 10 range for both teams. This looks almost identical on the stat card.
So Diva and Echo, so we hate Pain today as well, but...
Yes. Maverick is showing us the Winton. Hero is, in fact, showing us the Hazard here defensively.
Yeah, Hazard's very hybrid dive here. I figured that was if you're not going to force Winston and whatever, Hazard's fine too. She's not going to have the bubble, but you're able to drop down, be super annoying, super tanky, and be able to jump back up. But Hero's very solo right now. I'm worried how much Seaborn is sweating, trying to keep Hero up.
The Seaborn is the sweating one in that meme right now. Oh, what a combo. Quevster lands the take aims, the overhead strike. Actually, just superfluous there. Quevster got it all done, but Kabe was double dead. And that is just the damage absent. You can see just how quickly Shikigami are backpedaling.
I like that disengage. You do not want to get staggered here. Maverick's going to be front and center. And the bolo shot, Duck already kind of doubling what Kabe is doing. Well, I mean, this kind of the death does really matter there. But that could make the difference in this fight. Hero is needing a lot of resources, though. He looking like me out there.
Yeah, Seaborn saved their butt with that Suzu. Hero should be dead 3 times over. They will eventually go down. I know, yeah, I would have died far sooner. But it's still, this defense is able to trade a little bit. Triplet hit by a bolo shot, though, and Quebster, I think, might have just secured it. As I say that, Zach cuts Quebster down. Kabe is able to find Mardox. This defense is going to stabilize out of a 2v4.
Yeah, Zach is very insane on the Vendetta, and I would say Pain and Zach are pretty close together, but Zach really started to impress me on Shambali, and I would say the coordination looks stronger from Ilios, from Maverick and Pain's side, but Zach individually can really stand out. So I think a lot of attention needs to be given to Zach, because I think he went very unnoticed in that fight and just tore it up close range.
Kabe with a beautiful bolo shot. And here comes Zach now playing in a Kitsu. Zach and Kabe able to follow up with their first ultimate. The overhead does not land there. Duck still dancing around. Gets the double tap plus some. Fine. Zach punishes him for going for that duel. Still the defense is able to hold. No more trades out of Quebster other than that one.
Yeah, the defense having their backs against the wall multiple times and still being able to clap back. Really impressive. Again, Zach getting almost the ultimate here. The Kitsu trade means that there was no real advantage for Artemis, so they got really aggressive. The Kitsus got traded, and now it's Hero needing to adjust a little bit and trying to trap them in. I like that out of Maverick.
Oh, the wall almost blocked the sound barrier too, but the sound barrier does make it through to protect against the downpour. Rally now in play here from Floomfie, but they have one health. It's been enough though. You found Zach. Kabe strikes back. A beautiful blue shot. Uh-oh, but you're hit. Quebster responds with a two-piece. And Artemis clean up this map 5 as a Quebster 3-stack will get it over the line.
Yeah, it just gets subbed in and it's just immediately zapping everybody. Right? I would think it would take a second for him to get on beat with the rest of the team. And maybe I guess it took a couple fights before getting her done. But now there's a bit of trouble on the bridge side, but nothing too much to worry about. But you did have to use ults to cap A, and that wall is going to be troublesome for Zach.
Midori, excuse me, Shikigami. So they were that. This team was that name for so many seasons. Shikigami, like, trying to flip the map again, which they were doing with the sim, does not work out nearly as well here in the dive comp. They end up just kind of putting themselves in the kill box.
There it is. Now the cart gets liberated, and you're able to build. And it's honestly, you want ults for the end of the point. Ideally, not at the beginning of the point, but whatever it takes to win a fight, sure. But now you're going to be able to have Kitsu for the end of the point. That may be the difference maker here for Artemis, but needing to kind of make up on some lost time, because point A is supposed to be the easy part.
Kitsu out, and I mean, they are just taking as many fights as they can on this cart. What an interesting strategy. No high ground push, just Kitsu on the objective. Stall this cart out for as many team fights as possible. Make it interest. Into the blender we go. Great wall out of Hero, secures a kill on a PainCarre. We're gonna go fight around statue. Back into the corner. The block slap won't last forever there for Maverick, and they've got to leap away. Oh, Floomfie cannot escape the grasp of Zach.
Yeah, Zach is able to finish off the kills. He's not just like a chaos or a disruptor. Like, he is killing Lucios. He is killing supports who don't have much to say about it. And to catch a Lucio when they don't have boop, because that's going to be an important job of Floomfie and Triplet to boop these vendettas away when they can. Because sometimes they can just dash through it and not care as well.
And I mean, and the right click also took a nerf yesterday. I mean, an extra second, 25% longer for those boops to come online. Dueling bullet shots. Kabe gets hit as Maverick goes Skyborn to help him create that mismatch. Mardox will pile on one, and it looks like eventually Artemis should get this cart rolling, but the infinite stall tactic here out of Shikigami has whittled this clock down to sub 45 seconds.
And you're going to get another fight, and Hero has ult. You got beat, but it seems like both these teams just love trading ults. Kitsu for Kitsu, beat for beat, like whatever it is. Looks like this attacking team wants to get proactive though and try to stuff these chokes before the hazard gets comfortable.
Maverick got Scouted, cornered, ulted, and still manages to get away. Shikigami goes and stops the cart with 16 centimeters, separating him from a disastrous C9. But unfortunately, Hero just gets surrounded, ends up in the middle of all of that damage. The anchor's removed, the cart continues to roll.
And that aggression or that pressure that Artemis put out is what made that fight so awkward. You didn't get the best hazard ult. You only had a 3-man beat instead of 5. And that meant some DPS didn't get all the shield or the health love that they needed to kind of attempt to fight through that fight. And when you have no space to work with on a defense trying to retake B, it is already just so painful. Now we're on the Zarya, so this is all eggs in the Zac basket.
Yeah, back into full damage. Considering rush on the high ground, make it hard to take, but there is the answer out of Seaborn. But there's just not enough bodies to really use it. Artemis get much better value out of the Kitsune rush. You see Pain comes flying out of the back line after just cleaving through everybody. 45 seconds left on the clock, but on such a defensively favored map as Dorado, this is feeling like an extremely good push here out of Artemis. Zac comes back with a Sundering Blade, and this will force the beat feet. Artemis have to respect it, back away.
Yeah, I like that disengage because Maverick was not there, and he even swapped a Queen, maybe to just help people get out of spawn quicker, but now they're going to be able to dive and have all the space they want. No ults to really work with, but 18 seconds, it's not going to come down to that. It's just going to come down to a good wall, and holy, Hero got chonked.
It might just be the beginning of the end. Pain goes back to see if they can find Hero. A mismatch on the Kabe just opens up so much space. Duck returns on the Genji just to get it back that much faster. It's up to the Baptiste to throw themselves on the point. That's not what you want if you're Shikigami. You get it to an OT, but the cap is inevitable here from Artemis.
Hey, having a really good hazard in your back pocket has been huge for Maverick. It's just really well played. The walls to trap Hero. Like, who needs Pain to be on Mei when you just have a really good hazard that is cosplaying as a Mei? And Hero just never had that upper hand. Felt like they got, I would say never, but just got walled off a lot. I think there was a lot of tempo being dictated by Artemis, from already the early pressure on point B to being able to disengage, take the fight always on their terms. In Shikigami, well, they definitely tried off the Zarya. It's just Hero took all the bubbles for himself, and I don't blame him because Maverick threw a hazard wall behind him, forced Hero to have to use all the bubbles for himself while he was walled off from his team, and then that meant nothing for Zac or Kabe to play with. And Mardox, I'm pretty sure, killed 3 as a Kiriko that fight. So
yeah,
like,
that's what I saw too.
That was crazy.
Those such good walls. A really good shot on the walls. The walls out of Maverick have been insane. It's like, yeah, what do you even need a Mei for? Just keep paying in the Vendetta. Just keep paying in the Vendetta. I think the Vendetta
It's a Mei that dives.
Yeah. And that push is I mean, it's great for Dorado. It's such a defensively favored map. You don't often see Dorado capped with a lot of time. Much less 3 points at all. Get a lot of full holds and second point holds on this map. Very winnable for Artemis. And, you know, must reiterate, I feel like this would be quite the upset. Artemis dropped their last 3 series. See if they can hold here and turn around and find their first dub of 2026.
And Duck looked so good on this point A, and it's low-key carrying the team. But Maverick has been an expert on the hazard, so knowing when to drop, when to jump back up. Hero needed a lot of resources when he was on the hazard. And I don't hate that as long as you don't die, right? But it is a lot of healing versus for someone like a DPS that could use it. But Maverick did get focused.
Yeah, it was Zac. Zac ripped him down with the overhead strike. Maverick was trying to climb the wall back up to the top of Red Roof and just got pulled right back down to the ground. So really a heads-up play from Zac, kind of catches him just split second before they're able to get away. That secures an opening pick in the first half of this point.
Now we can maybe see the potential of Hero on the Zarya here, now that you can kind of tempo with your Vendetta. Already looking at Zac to see when he needs bubble, but all the attention's on Hero. They're half health, and how is Seaborn going to help this? It's really tough for Baptiste to heal people who are very far away and on high grounds.
The Bap is such an interesting pick. They're able to dodge the bolo shot, uses the immortality field, stay alive, just kind of sitting out in the middle of Main Street right now. Hero ducking around.
Almost need a Kiri for this.
Yeah, good call.
To go with the Vendetta.
Triplet's trying to go with the Vendetta and push in with Zack into the left-hand side, but you just run into so much damage. Kitsu throw it in from Mardox. Pain cleans up the alley, and Shikigami gets stopped. Find no room to work.
Like, BAP is cool if you have, like, a long lane and everyone's pretty accessible, like, LOS-wise, like, Ana-esque, where everyone's kind of in your line of sight or sort of near you, but as soon as people are diving elsewhere, like, you need a Kiri, you need somebody. And, wow, Zack got cooked. Wow.
Yeah, I think Zack got put some horse blinders on and just charged in to see if they could find an early trade, but everybody collapsed on them immediately as soon as Zack hit that high ground.
Defense is already taking so much time, less than half the time bank. At least you got like pretty much, well, I guess 4 ults. And the grab, okay. Trade the beat, that works. Go back to spawn, but if you have to grab out of spawn, it's not a good day for you.
No, and you don't even get a chance to answer with the sound barrier on the other side. Like, you think you could just respond with your own sound barrier, but even with the grab, like, they can't work through all the shielding. I believe there was one trade. We are going to get a very swift re-engage here to the high ground. Low Floomfie does get caught. Kabe will deliver a 2-piece, and finally Shikigami have a little bit of room to play with here. That should be point A, as a matter of fact.
I feel like only because Artemis like gave it to them.
Yeah,
like pushing spot is kind of troll, and I think when you feel like you're gonna full hold, spawn touching is like an aura play, and sometimes you have to go for those mental battles over the physical ones. But hey, this could be a way for Hero and friends to tempo up when they still have 4 ults.
Then follow your heart, not your brain. Is that kind of what that is?
Yeah. Attack the brain.
You shut up, brain. I want my gold star. Oh, Duck floating up top. He's got both the seaborn now, who does have a little bit of a sightline to work with. You can see he's putting some significant damage in alongside Kabe to help control this front corner, but so far it's a bit of a stalemate. You got to do better than that. You got to push past this corner. You got to control this entire high ground. A drop protected by the wall. Put Zack in a 1v2 momentarily, but they head back up where there's an ant matrix in play here out of Shikigami. Hero finds a kill on the Quedster, and there's a little bit of map control finally under Shikigami's possession. Good boop. Sends PainCarre back down to the low ground, but there is a Kitsu down here to play with as well. Sound barrier out, a triplet, and let's get just a brawl going. It's a party in the streets of Dorado. Everybody goes up to the high ground from Artemis to try to escape the sound barrier. Even use a whirlwind dash to knock Seaborn and Kabe back down low.
And Seaborn had some pressure on him there. He's able to disengage, and they've gotten a lot of free cart push besides Artemis creating a lot of threat here. And now you grab as soon as you see anyone drop.
Oh, that's an enormous grab. The Sundering hits 3.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was awesome. There's a wombo combo for you.
It's like the Zoomer, like, Graviton Surge Dragon Strike combo from back in the day. Like, now it's just a big, muscular lady that's doing all the work. I wasn't sure if the grab hit on the other side of the bridge, and I guess they grabbed them, but oh, wait, re-engage here?
So the downpour is completely avoided, as does the Sundering Blade, but you've opened up some space and he splits Shikigami. You can see they're trying to regroup on that far side, but Floomfie just layers into sound barrier and makes it impossible. Really nice retake, as a matter of fact.
Wow, the retake dream is real, and being able to defend, there's only a minute left, and a ton of those big ults from Shikigami are gone. And they had that big grab Vendetta combo on the bridge, and they couldn't cap. Like, that's so crazy that a re-engage was even possible for Artemis. So that's... I don't know how Shikigami are going to pull this off unless Kabe goes crazy.
It wouldn't be the first time. Well, hell, it wouldn't be the first time tonight. That's a take aim bolt right onto the head of the carry. And remember, with that recent buff, you can 2-tap a Kiriko again as a Freya. You forced out an early Suzu. Let's see if Kabe wants to do anything with this. Just a little small window of opportunity to work. Mardox with a Kitsune Rush. Man, it's going to be so impossible to take this.
Yeah, as soon as anyone takes a fight on the bridge, it's Kitsu is going to drop, and it's not looking good. Unless Seaborn can match with the window, but they're probably just going to push past that. There's no stable spot to use a window at.
There's no stable spot on the map for Shikigami at all. The high ground just completely abandoned. You got forced off a really aggressive push on the back of that Mardox Kitsune Rush. Kabe was not able to find the kills they need. And Artemis put an end to their 3-loss streak to find their first dub of the year with a huge map 5 win over Shikigami. GG's, what a series.
It really was, and it sucks to say because I think Seaborn is such a good Baptiste. He's had some really good moments with the windows, like being able to deny pain on the Echo on Runasapi and different ways of keeping himself alive when there's full dives coming his way. But just unfortunately, I don't think it was the right pick for this map. Just for point B especially, because where are you gonna window? On the low ground, people go to the high ground. You window high ground, people go to the low ground. You kind of need something that can match tempo, like unfortunately a Kiri, which seems to be just the flavor of the meta. Lucio Kiri all the way, or
Mardox just had such a spectacular series across the board in that Kuriko as well. I mean, when you're playing at that level, 25-5 there in map 5, 30 assists. Mardox making a good enough case to might be MVP worthy. I don't know, just perhaps.
Yeah. Everyone had their shining moments of their MVP on this hero. Like they're the best in the lobby on that hero.
I like it. We'll go with that. I like it. Amazing.